Bonjour tout le monde. Hi everybody. I am Liz from Adie, and this morning we're going to talk to you about understanding how micro-entreprise work. So we're going to wait a few minutes. In the meantime, you can put in the chat where you're from, and if you have some special needs or special questions, maybe you can put it in the chat in order to address them during this conference. So we're going to start soon in a few minutes. So we have someone from Vienne in Isère, someone from Le Mans, Lyon, Vincennes, currently close to Marseille. Someone else from Marseille, yes, Marseille. It might be the city to live in France right now. Grenoble from Brittany. From Cognac, live in Rennes. All over France is represented. So we already are 25 in the chat. I heard there were like maybe 60 person who register for this. So we're gonna start, if that's okay with you. So today I'm gonna start introducing you Adie, what Adie offers, what are the goals of Adie. Then we're gonna explain how micro-enterprise is a real enterprise, and then expose in a nutshell the most important things to know about micro-enterprise. We're gonna give you some administrative contacts, some insight about social protections, and we're gonna end with Adie's offers and partners. Other people join us, Marjo from Le Var, from Ariège. So let's start. So welcome to Adie. So it's been 35 years of existence. Adie is a French association. It's recognized as being in the public interest. And Adie defends the idea that anyone can become an entrepreneur if they have access to credit and access to a professional personalized support. We are based on trust, solidarity, and responsibility. So we have a network of specialists that finances and supports entrepreneurs working towards a more socially responsible economy. Adie is active throughout France and its overseas territories. You can see the map of France there. These are all of Adie's branches. So we work with employees and volunteers in order to remove the barriers to access entrepreneurship. So in a few figures, Adie, it's over 160,000 businesses financed and support, and we are present in the whole territory through 184 branches and 323 offices. So we have 1,100 volunteers specialized in business startup. We also have coaching programs. So Adie's mission is to give people who want to become an entrepreneur a full support. No branch in Ariège yet. We're gonna check. But if it's not in Ariège, it's really close. And sometimes we also have some Adie mobile, as we say, and we can host some permanence sometimes at Pôle emploi, which has become now France Travail, or URSAF. So the whole territory is covered in some way or another. So Adie's mission. Adie's offer financing up to 12,000 euros, combined with sometimes with interest-free loans, grants, repayable advances from the states or local authorities. We provide free support also to ensure the long-term viability of the activity finance, before the creation, during the development of the activity, and after the creation of the business, sometimes in the form of a group training course and personalized follow-up in areas that has really varied. Sometimes it's management, sometimes it's administrative, procedures, business development, legal advice, and taxation. So our three missions is to finance, to advise, and to support. So micro-enterprise is a real business, a real enterprise. It's a tax regime. So like any other company in France, if you register as a micro-enterprise, you will get a CABIS number and a SIREN number. Those are your administrative number to register for any procedure, any invoices. So micro-enterprise provides you with these essential numbers. So they will have an impact on tax, social security for France Travail or RSA Entitlement. It's a scheme for everyone, almost everyone. Students, employees, pensioners, civil servants, job seekers, almost everyone can create its micro-enterprise. You are eligible for business startup grants, such as arre, and you pay social security contribution based on your turnover, based on your revenue. If you make €0, you will pay no contribution. So, micro-enterprise in a nutshell. 3 essential facts about micro-enterprise. It's a sole trader. It means you register as an individual and your company is in your own name. This is the most important part to understand. A micro-enterprise is one owner. It's personal. It's a personal company. So before registering, you need to assess the maximum turnover you are projecting to do, because it's only for, let's say, small businesses or starting businesses. So for sales, the maximum turnover would be 100,700 for sales, and for businesses, 77,000. Social security contribution and tax can be paid monthly or quarterly, depending on your turnover. So for sales and good, the social security contribution, the tax contribution is 12.3%. And for services or self-employed activities, it's 21.2%. We're going to see later that on your URSSAF web portal, everything is registered. You really have all the information you need on internet. So what are the advantages of registering as a micro-enterprise? So it's a simplified setup procedure. Setup your procedure is made online and it's free of charge, and it doesn't requires any deposit. You make your online declaration and payment of contribution, and as I previously said, if you make €0, you will pay 0 taxes. So this is really simple. Streamlined accounting. You have to keep a daily record of your receipts, purchase in chronological order, methods of payment, and supporting documents. Supporting documents, they are invoices of like what you make your customer pay or to your suppliers. So you need to, keep this daily record book. You don't pay, there is no VAT, TVA, as we say in French, unless your turnover, I'm sorry. So if your turnover is less than 91,000 for purchase and resale activity or 36,000 for services, you don't pay TVA, you don't pay VAT. So the accounting system is really simpler than another form of tax regime. Simplified contribution calculation method. The rate is applied depending on the services or the goods you're providing. and depending on the sector of activity. But as I was mentioning before, on your URSSAF portal, you have those rates and you can calculate in advance the amount of social security contribution you will have to pay. And the last advantage is limited risk. As we say, if you collect €0, you will pay zero tax contribution. So it's a simple procedure to register. It's a simple accounting method. It's a simple calculation of your taxes method, and the risk is limited. Those are all the advantages to register for a micro-enterprise. But there are, of course, some disadvantages. So the first one is the indefinite liability of the sole trader's company's debt. As I was saying earlier, you are the sole trader. It's an individual company, and there is no limitation between the money of the company and your money. So if your enterprise is in debt, the debts can be retrieved on your personal financings on your personal account. There is no liability between the two. So this is one first disadvantage. But as we were mentioning, if you make zero revenue, zero taxes. If you want to have access to social rights such as pension, retirement, you have the obligation to reach a certain turnover, a certain revenue to validate pension quotas. So, of course, as you pay less taxes, it's a less protected social system. But still, if you reach a certain level, you will be able to validate your pensions. It's not suitable for all activities. For instance, not for those with high fixed cost. For instance, it will be really difficult to rent a restaurant or to make a restaurant business with this activity. You need to have more separation for your restaurant than, for instance, to be a consultant or to be another type of micro-entrepreneurs. So it's not suitable for all activities. This scheme sometimes does not always have a very good image. What is the limit for that turnover to benefit the pension afterwards? I'm going to write down all your questions, and on the email you will receive at the end of the web conference, I'm going to make sure that you have all the answer to your questions. So I'm going to copy paste it. Okay. And VAT, TVA, cannot be reclaimed on investments. With other company, when you buy some products to sell, you can ask for a refund on your VAT. With this micro-enterprise, it's not the easiest way to do it. So under certain condition, it can be possible, but most of the time it's not. So you can see that the advantages for me are way higher than the disadvantages. So there are obligations of the micro-entrepreneur. Accounting rules and information to be provided to the tax authority. So on all your invoice, it must state VAT non-applicable according to Article 293B of the CGE. So better to write it in France. La TVA n'est pas applicable conformément à l'article 283B du Code général des impôts. So this is the first obligation. Then, as we already mentioned, you need to keep a day book retailing with your receipts. And you need to keep a register showing the details of purchase in chronological order for sales activity. But it's an accounting system way easier. Most micro-entrepreneurs make their accounts by themselves, and at the end of the year, sometimes they consult someone, but it's really easy, way easier than any other tax regime. So you need to make an online declaration on social security contribution. So it's easy to do it on the website portal of URSSAF, autoentrepreneur.ursaf.fr. So as we say, you can do it monthly or by quarter. You need to open a bank account dedicated to your business. If your sales exceed 10,000 euro for 2 years. But you don't have to open a business account. This is sometimes people think like, I need a business account for my business. No, with this regime, you can open a simple bank account, un compte courant, a classical one, the same you're using to pay your daily life. It doesn't need to be a business account. Sometimes business accounts are more expensive than classic accounts. So this is a really important information to know. In case you are selling, will you share the presentation slide afterwards? Yes. You will receive, every participant will receive the link with all the slides, and I will make sure that all the questions that are in the chat will be answered also in the email you receive at the end. So if you're selling to private individuals, you have to display the possibility to have recourse to mediation. So the consumer must be informed that you have some mediation authorities to whom they can make a reclaim, and you need to make this information visible on your website, on your general terms and conditions of sale, on your order forms, or any suitable medium. So for instance, your invoice. Are we going to talk just about micro-entrepreneur today? Just micro-entrepreneur today. This is the only regime we're going to talk about today. So, administrative contacts. For your day-to-day administrative formalities, you have URSSAF. URSSAF, Union des recouvrements des cotisations de sécurité sociale et des allocations familiales. It's to pay your social security contribution. You have la sécurité sociale des indépendants, for your social security cover. You have the tax department for the payment of your tax. Depending on where you register your business, this tax can be higher than some in other places. But a yearly taxes on where you register your business. Doesn't have to be necessarily, you don't have to be a physical space to pay this tax. Any business is registered somewhere, so this tax is mandatory for everyone. La CAF, if you receive family allowance or housing allowance or RSA, CAF is also an administrative contact. And Pôle emploi, now it's called France Travail, so I should upgrade my presentation. But if you receive some allocation de retour à l'emploi, back to work allowance, this is an important contact. So to simplify your online procedure, we recommend you to create a personal account on all these different administrative authorities. So the online portals that are the most important is the URSSAF one, because this is where you're going to declare your turnover, pay your social security contribution, and access your archives declaration. You can obtain your certificates of vigilance of turnover, and you can interact with URSSAF at a regional level. What is good to know also is you can download the app for auto-entrepreneur on a mobile application. And all this, all you need to do, or all you need from URSSAF is available online with this app and this portal. And the other portal, I think the certificate of vigilance is to say that you are registered as a micro-enterprise. Everything, like all the fact that you are a declared activity, that you pay your taxes, this is what you're going to find on your URSSAF portal. And the other portal is impôt.gouv.fr to pay this annual tax foncière on where you register your business, and to keep in touch with tax authority and ask questions. Actually, as a personal experience, impôts.gouv, those people are really, really active. You can ask any question to them within an email, and in 2 or 3 days, they are answering you. They are really, really efficient, and sometimes people are afraid of taxes and tax people, but you shouldn't, because really, I think they are really, really amazing person to ask, because they always find a way out of a situation, out of a problem. So those two portals are really essential for you as micro-entrepreneurs to know, and to know how to ask questions and register. We're going to talk about social protection. So micro-entrepreneurs are allowed to have rights in social protection. So you have access to social protection, sickness and maternity leave benefits, and family allowance under the same condition as employees. Basic pension for self-employed workers are calculated in the same ways as for employee, provided a minimum turnover is declared. And the self-employed have a compulsory supplementary pension scheme, in which case we are obliged to pay the taxe foncière professionnelle in any case. As I was mentioning, it is depending on where you register your business. So you're going to register your business in one city or another, it will change the amount of tax you're going to pay. But it is mandatory for every micro-entrepreneur to pay this tax. Access to invalidity and death cover, and right to vocational training. So those are rights because you are paying social security contribution. And this is also why sometimes it's really important to register your business, because you are covered. This is why everyone pays taxes in France. By those contributions you are paying on your URSSAF, this is like money you're giving to the state, and the state pays you back with this social protection. So even if, as we mentioned before, you have for pension retirements, it's going to be a little more complicated, you also benefit from social protection, sickness, maternity, and invalidity. And vocational training, you pay taxes, and it will like credits some amounts of money on a vocational trainings. So after a while, you can take this money and pay some training, some private or public trainings. Will you talk about the artist micro-enterprise? No, I won't. I know there are some specialties about it, but it is not planned to address those questions. I'm going to write it down, because maybe there are some other web conference that you can see on YouTube. Maybe we have one, and if we don't have one, I'm gonna say to people that maybe it's a good idea to talk about those artist micro-enterprise. So micro-enterprise social protection, maternity leave, new protection. So women can benefit from a lump sum maternity rest allowance intended to partially compensate the reduction of their activity. So it is paid in 2 installments, the first one in the 7th month and the second one after birth. You can have access to a flight rate daily allowance for breaking work, and if the interruption of the activity is prolonged, an additional allowance may be paid up to a total limit of 3,976 euros. So by the taxes you pay, if you get pregnant, you have access to maternity leave and let's say an allowance to maintain a revenue in your life. So focus on arre. Arre is a way to create a business when you are unemployed. So it's now available to entrepreneurs subject to a certain condition. So job seekers on benefits or eligible for benefits, RSA recipients, young people between 18 and 25, people living in a priority urban district. So this arre is something that will give you a discount on your taxes on the first year. Could it be a recording of this webinar to access it later? Yes, everyone who register will receive the recording, and all Adie's web conference are on Adie's YouTube channel. So since it's before it was a 3-year exemption taxes, now it's 1, and the taxes is now, the discount is now 50%. So we were saying that selling goods was around 12% taxes. With this arre, you're going to pay on goods only 6.2%. The idea is, if we want people to be entrepreneurs, if we want people to have access to takeovers, the first year is generally the most difficult one, because you need to create your contact, to find your customers. So in order to help micro-entrepreneurs, arre is this tax exoneration by 50% on the first year. Is arre worked out automatically, or do you need to apply directly? I think on your URSSAF account, it is applied not automatically because it's subjected to a certain condition. So either you need to be a job seeker, register at Pôle emploi France Travail, or an RSA recipient, or being aged between 18 and 25, or living in a district area. So it's not automatically. You need to have one of those conditions to benefit from arre. But if you have this condition on your URSSAF web page, it will be more or less automatically. So Adie and partners offer. So at Adie, we're trying to build tools for business successes. We have some, for instance, negotiated offers, in particular on insurance, because we have a great partnership with AXA, among others. We find out that insurance policies are not really suitable for micro-entrepreneurs. The guarantees they were offering were way too high compared to the needs of the entrepreneur. So we negotiated insurance offer, really customized, built for micro-entrepreneurs. So we have car insurance negotiated offer, we have responsabilité civile, exploitation et professionnelle, we have business premises and equipment insurance, and we can cover in the event of cessation of reduction of activity. So in terms of insurance, we have really a lot of packages that can be really interested for micro-entrepreneurs. I have a question in the chat: how to get benefit from the driving training as auto-entrepreneur, either from URSSAF or Pôle emploi after a year contribution of declaration at URSSAF? This is a good question. I think formation for permis de conduire, sometimes it's offered by you by Pôle emploi. It depends on your relationship with Pôle emploi and to demonstrate that you need it for your job. Sometimes they are paying it. And sometimes on this vocational training account where automatically URSSAF puts some money, you may have access to those trainings. But I'm going to put it in the question section, and you will receive some information at the end of the conference within a mail. So it's not exactly CPF, because CPF is for employee, but it is really similar to CPF. I'm going to put it in the question. So Adie's support for success. We have commercial support. For instance, we have some trainings on web marketing, so how to target new clients. We have financial support, of course. We have administrative support and legal support. So either you can have our web conferences on YouTube, or we have, as I was saying, 1,000 volunteers are really committed to help everyone with those information. We provide individual support. So, for instance, Coach Adie, some of our volunteers are coach. So if you have something wrong with your business, if you have some question, you have this particular relationship with one person that will be able to understand your problems and find a way to resolve them. We have tailored workshop, and we have collective trainings and good deals. Good deals is what I was saying about, for instance, insurance. So Adie is a microfinance institution under an associative registration. So we provide loans up to 12,000 euros at a rate of 9.87%, with a social solidarity contribution of 5% and a maximum collateral of 5,000. Could we also receive information about the upcoming markets and events? Yeah. At the end of the web conference, you will receive everything, and everything is available on Adie's website also. So, for instance, if you ask for a loan of 4,500, sorry, on a 30 months period, at this rate, it will be a monthly cost of 169 euros. You can see I'm struggling between 1,000 and 100 my whole life, but 169 euro per month. And on Adie's website, you can make a calculation, an estimation of what you would pay at Adie if you were applying for a loan. So those loans are really made to help you start your business or help you develop your business. If you need to rent a space, if you need to buy some stock, if for the starting cash flow, if you need a car to go to work or to make your activity, if you need some tools or advertising, we cover all these type of expenses for a business. So if you're interested in a loan, you can make an appointment. I will give you the number afterwards. And with the loan officer, he will check what you're asking for, and is like, if you're not asking for too much as a starting business, sometimes the loan officer is here to say, maybe we can start smaller, and within a year or 6 months, if your business is working well, you can come back and we can make a higher loan. But the idea of Adie is to give loans to people to make sure that their business is going to be a lasting one, and that you're able to pay back, and that the loan is not a burden for you, but really something to make an investment. So we have online support, so free online support to build your project and get your business off a good start, so on Adie's website. And we also hold web conferences every week on really different topics to help you launch or boost your business. So all of our web conferences are on YouTube, but you can find the time schedule of all the conferences on our website. If possible, please mention any particular regulations that affect foreign national residents in France doing enterprise in France. The only regulation is that you need to be legal. This is the only condition. It's if you have a visa in France, to be in France, you can start your business. And it will work the exact same way as it's working for French people. Really, this is why we say it's a regime for everyone, because everyone can start their micro-enterprise as long as they are legally legal residents in France. So when you're going to register at URSSAF online, this is what they're going to ask you. They're going to ask you for, can you have a screenshot of your visa, a screenshot of your passport? But really, beside that, there is nothing different for foreigners than for locals. If you don't have a visa in France, but you have a residency permit from another EU country, this is a great question. I will put it also. But I think with EU residency, I think it won't work, because EU residency allow you to stay 3 months in another country, not to stay a year. So I don't think it will be enough, but I'm putting it in the chat, in my all question that will be sent, the answer will be sent to you in an email. Les bons plans de l'Adie. So we have a community of partners that are helping us, or we are all helping each other in order to provide to micro entrepreneurs the best bargains, the best deal. So we have deals, for instance, with some banking company, Conto for a professional account, Smile and Pay for, those little credit cards payment terminal. Shine also is a banking company with which we are working. We have AFB that are like reconditioned computers and phones. We have also some deals with website provider. C'est mon site is like an all-included website packaging company. So we have like bargain deal for, especially for micro entrepreneurs within Adie. So what is more or less the timeline when you ask for a loan? So you have your first contact, meeting and planning. So you have the number 0969 328 110. So you call this number and you can have an appointment at the closest Adie's agency to you. Everything, like to ask for an appointment, it's with this number. For anything else, you have access online on our website, but to make an appointment, it's by this number, because the person on the phone will assess that you need to meet a loan officer. So we're going to assess that you have a business project, because the loans are only for business projects. So we're going to assess that before giving you an appointment with a loan officer. So there is this instruction process, let's say appraisal process, where the loan officer will ask you about what you want to do with this money, what is your business model, what are your ideas, and make sure that this loan is really an investment and a good opportunity for you, more than a burden. If you take a loan, does being a micro entrepreneur have to be your full-time job, or can you work part-time for another company? You can work part-time for another company. Doesn't have to be your full job. For some people, it is their full job, but for many of our clients, it's a sidekick job that creates, as we say, revenue generating activities. So you can work in a company, you can have different businesses. You don't need to be a full-time entrepreneur to have access to a loan. Bonjour, juste pour savoir si mon entreprise individuelle, je peux bénéficier des avantages financiers pour développement et embauche. Paolo, je ne comprends pas votre question. I don't really understand your question. So if you can be more specific, maybe I can be more helpful. So you have this instruction process with a loan officer on week 1. On week 2, there is the credit committee. It's not the loan officer that decides alone if your application is a solid one. So the credit committee, there are some volunteers from Adie, there are some partners involved. Sometimes we have some person from the bank that are in our committee. So they will decide. We commit to give you an answer within 15 days. And then on week 3, we check your documents and check that everything is legally feasible. And then we give the funding on week 3. And after that, you can start your business or developing your business. But I don't know if it's what I'm going to say. No, this is my last slide, so I'm going to really put the emphasis on it. Even before you're starting your company, even after starting your company, Adie is really present before your business creation, during your business creation, and for your business development. How to get another advantage of transport and mutual private insurance as auto-entrepreneur. For instance, okay, I will put it in my question because I don't know that. How to get another advantage transport. Mostly it's when you are on RSA that you can ask for it to directly to the region. You should, like, RATP will be more helpful than I am. But it's not as an auto-entrepreneur that you can get those benefits, is as an RSA recipient. What happens if you default on the loan payments? What is your liability as a micro-enterprise? So I was saying it at the beginning, your liability as a micro-enterprise, it's indefinite. So the expenses, the accounting of your micro-enterprise is not really separated from your personal life. So if you're on a default on the loan payments, it could affect your personal finances. This is why the loan instruction process is really important, because we want to make sure that you can be able to reimburse for yourself, for your business, but also for us. So if you're on a default on a payment, we have different stages. At the beginning, you can say, okay, we can extend a grace period. Maybe you can start reimbursing in 2 months. Maybe we can extend the duration of your loan to get fewer mensualities. So what is important at Adie is trust and solidarity. As long as the person is honest with us, we always find a way for people. But really, the most important thing is to be able to talk about your problems on a loan repayment, etc. Because the sooner we know, the better and the easier it is to, let's say, fix this situation. No, I received a paper called APE affichage obligatoire with 188 to pay in order to receive affichage unique. No, Georgette, I never heard about it either. Be careful with everything that happens that arrives to your email, and really, before going to a website and putting anything about your tax number or stuff, really make sure you are on a securized website, because there are a lot of fraud and people trying to make money on fraud. So I have no idea what is this APE affichage obligatoire. I will put it in the question. Maybe someone in my team will have an answer for you. up, and I think I have a last question. Is Adie a private company, profit making? No, we are non-profits. We are an NGO. So this interest rate is for us to help more other people. So this margin that we have with loans is what gave us the funding to give this free support to everyone. So every money we making through loans are injected to free support, more or less. So no, we are a non-profit company. We are an NGO. It interests me about why you are able to provide this in English. It will be more English language. There are some English webinars, maybe not this week, but on Adie's YouTube, we have some English information, and I'm pretty sure that when you're on the phone, if you say that you're an English speaker, they will find a way to help you. And we have our community of loan officer. We are 800 employees, and many of our loan officers are foreigners of our origins. So really, there is a multi-ethnicity and language at Adie that is really impressive. So I'm really sure we're gonna find someone to assess you in English if you call the 0969 328 110. We have time for some other question if you want. I hope I can give the answer, but as I was mentioning, everyone will receive an email, and I will give to my colleagues all the question I couldn't give answer to, and provide some answers for you. Yeah. This is why they ask me to do the presentation in English, because we are like giving support and a lot of web conferences in French, but I'm pretty sure there are also subtitles thanks to YouTube. And yeah, we know there is a lot of foreigners in France who wants to learn their business. This is why we are hosting this morning. Where do I register my company? Any website? Can I do it myself? Great question. There are some private companies that offer you to pay for them to register your company. You can do it on your own. It can, like, maybe it will seems to you complicated. It's not that much, and you have some sometimes in your local CCI, Chambre de commerce et d'industrie, there are some people helping you register your business. So the website is on URSSAF or INPI, but you can do it by yourself. Don't, like, unless you have money to spend, don't ask others to do it for you. Take a good afternoon, go to your CCI, or really take your time. Everything is explained well on internet, so you don't need to pay anyone to do it. You can do it on your own by going to the URSSAF portal. I asked CMA and they said you need to pay 90 euros. Yeah, these are the type of private company that offer you to pay to register. If I already have an auto enterprise and want to modify it and start another one, can Adie help? So we have some support in like you can check at your local Adie what sometimes they have some permanence. They do 2 hours a week at France Travail, 2 hours a week at URSSAF. So sometimes we can provide that. And yeah, you can have different micro-entreprise in France. You are not limited to just one, so you can open another one. If I would like to discuss my potential project, how can I get an appointment in my area? Just call the number. 0969 328 110. We have branches all over France. So wherever you are, there is an Adie branch or an Adie office at, let's say, I think the maximum would be 40 minutes from your house. So really don't doubt. There is this number and we are here to help. So unless I have a last question, I'm gonna wait a few minutes. But I think we discussed what we had to, and really I will find answers to all the questions I couldn't answer, and ask my colleagues to send it to you within the email. So you will receive all those slides. You will receive all the information about Adie. So if you want to start your business, don't doubt. We are here to help. And really, it's feasible for anyone, and you're going to make it. Merci beaucoup. Thanks a lot, everybody, for being with me this morning. And thanks a lot to say it was helpful. Yes, there is a replay on our YouTube, and you can find on our YouTube all our others conference. Merci beaucoup. Thanks a lot. Bye.